Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 570. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing a book but you're having some trouble getting it done, you are in the right place. Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 19 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who barely sees themselves as a writer into a published book author. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. Don't just plan to write. Write. It is only by writing, not dreaming about it, that we develop our own style. P.D. James. And once again, good morning, everyone. And normally on Mondays, I like to offer a tip or a strategy for each of those three areas that I just mentioned, the areas that greatly impact, in my opinion, an author's success, writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. But I've been kind of going off book a little bit, so to speak, lately. Last week, we did a Mindset Monday episode, so today let's have a writing fundamentals / productivity one. So it is officially November, and for many of you authors out there, this means NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. And the goal with the NaNoWriMo challenge is to cast perfectionism aside and over the course of the month, write 50,000 words of a novel. The official website calls it a fun, seat-of-your-pants approach to creative writing. And with an average word count of like 1,700 words a day, assuming you are making your writing your novel a daily habit, well, seat of your pants, I think that's an accurate description. So it also occurs to me that NaNoWriMo is an excellent way of reinforcing the invisible line of demarcation between writing a book and writing / editing / polishing it along the way. Because at 1,700 words a day, there's really no time to do anything but get all the words out of your head onto the page. No matter how sloppy, disorganized, or unrefined they happen to flow out of your brain. In that way, I think NaNoWriMo, try to say this a few times, NaNoWriMo is a valuable exercise for authors, whether you officially do the challenge or simply approach the writing of the first draft of your book with this mindset. Make the goal of your first draft to get all the words onto the page, no matter what. So like pretend you're in the challenge and you have to do it by the end of the month, even if that's not specifically what you're doing. But no matter what, keep writing. Don't stop to fret about perfection or get stuck in the editing paralysis. Just get it out. In this way, I would imagine that authors who do NaNoWriMo have a great advantage. They get to practice and reinforce this habit of writing without stopping for 30 days straight. And as we know, that's a pretty good time period to start locking in a habit. I would bet by the end of the month, especially those who do it on a yearly basis, they are really good at it because that's really solid habit building right there. So the question for you is, whether you're doing this or not, how can you practice that habit in your first draft of writing to keep writing without worrying about perfection? To just get that first draft of your book out of your brain and onto the page. How can you practice that habit, whether you're doing, and I'm going to say it one more time, NaNoWriMo or not? And I'm going to repeat that quote. I recently posted it in the my Inc. Authors group on Facebook. I also mentioned it here on the show, but this is a quote that certainly bears repeating, especially with the theme of today's episode for all of us and as much as possible. One rule for first full working drafts. Get them done ASAP. Don't worry about quality. Act, don't reflect. Momentum is everything. Get to the end as if the devil himself were breathing down your neck and poking you in the butt with his pitchfork. Stephen Pressfield. And this, since I started repeating this quote a lot, this has, I think, become like a favorite quote of some of my book coaching clients, which I find very amusing. They're all mentioning the devil and his pitchfork in our coaching calls. Pretty entertaining, and I'm glad it's having a positive effect. Oh, and by the way, several of those of you who are doing NaNoWriMo, How many times can I say it in one broadcast? Several of your fellow authors in my Inc. Authors group on Facebook, they're doing it, including some veterans of the challenge. So if you are looking for additional support, accountability, problem-solving help, if you have questions for those who have done it before, I think that's like super valuable advice, or you simply want to vent about the frustrations of producing 1,700 words every day, please drop by. So it's Inc. Authors on Facebook, and I will make sure, as usual, that I put the link in the show notes so you can get there easily. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. Until tomorrow, happy writing.